Guys, I am aware of time, so let's quickly smash through our last two review discussions. Let's talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I just saw it last night. I am over the moon about it. I really enjoyed it. Adrian hasn't seen this one, so Zoheb, it's just you and me for this. Yeah. There's not much to spoil, so yeah. Zoheb, what did you think of Shang-Chi?
Yeah, I'm going to try and dance around whatever spoilers there might be, but this was... Okay, so Freedom Day happened, and I booked a haircut and I booked tickets. And like those are two things that I did. And the first one, like this was my first movie off the bat. Man, I loved it. I mean, it was I already kind of like hinted at this when we were talking about Spider-Man. It was a great origin story. I think it's yes. Tough to do origin stories these days because there's so many of them. So it's tough to be original. It's tough to be engaging with it anymore. But I think they really, really found a way through that. I think this movie tells a story, a father and son story that we haven't really seen yet in the MCU. It's incredibly new for the MCU to be doing something like this. And I think Simu Liu is amazing as Shang-Chi. He's really fun to watch. He plays off everyone. It's funny to, I mean, like you really got to admire how an actor can play off someone like Awkwafina and then play off someone like Tony Leung, who is apparently a huge dramatic actor. Yeah. I haven't seen anything else he's done, but like Tony Leung's performance as I guess the Mandarin in this movie. He doesn't like to call himself that, yeah, it was good, man. It was really the choice for this movie to follow him instead of Shang-Chi was really, really clever. I think it really kind of threw me for a loop. The opening scene of this movie where I was just like, oh shit, no fucking way! Like we're giving this much gravity to the quote villain of the movie. That's awesome. Because I mean. Yeah, you can say what you want about Marvel's villains, it's all out there, but this is not one of the more forgettable ones. I think this is a great performance by Tony Leung. Story-wise, it's beautiful. I love this whole. At points in the movie, it felt like you were watching a legendary ancient Chinese painting. And it really felt like that come alive. There were points in this movie where I was just like, am I watching a moving like hieroglyphic wall? Like I don't know what the hell. But it was amazing. It was really well done. The martial arts was really, really well choreographed, really well filmed. There are fight scenes in this movie that I haven't seen since Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Particularly sort of like the bridge scene. Where we see kind of like Steve Rogers and the Winter Soldier kind of throw down. The Winter Soldier does this thing with a knife in that movie where I love. He just grabs it and then just kind of does two kind of like stabbing motions. There's a moment in this where Shang-Chi does something similar, and like I love things like that. But like one thing for me, dude, with this movie, it's not a negative or anything like that. It's just a kind of observation. It's so ironic that this was filmed here in Sydney and we were the last place to see it. It's so ironic.
I am very fucking aware of that, and it drives me. It wasn't just filmed in Sydney; it was filmed in Western Sydney, right where we live, just around the corner. And we have friends who worked on it.
Yeah,
you and
me
know people who worked on this. We couldn't see this thing.
Yeah.
It drove me insane.
It's a gorgeous movie. It's a gorgeous movie, and it really, really. There's a point in this movie. Well, no, actually, when I sat down and watched this, I really liked Black Widow. I really liked it. It was the official quote Phase 4 beginning, but this really feels like the Phase 4 beginning. Like this really feels like the next big leap that Marvel's making, and I can't wait to see what they do with this character because there's so much in here. And Adrienne, I really can't wait for you to see it. It's awesome.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Adi, I think you would love it because this also, again, it does feel like a really adventure-y type film.
Yeah.
Especially once it picks up, I'd say, in the second act. There's also a character I won't spoil, but they have very big Johnny Depp energy, and I know that you'll lose your mind for that. And that character, Zoheb knows who I'm talking about, steals the show. So hilarious. I was in a packed theater, and every time this character said something, everybody was laughing.
Okay.
It was something I really appreciate about this film is, so Marvel is very well known for having lead characters who are quippy and cocky and egocentrical. And this one we get, like, they're not afraid to have someone who's not that. They surround him with funny characters. And like you could say, like, there have been some others who are like that, like Black Panther's not like that. But most of the time, the default Marvel superhero is, Han Solo cowboy type, you know? And I was refreshing to not have that. I also loved, I gotta talk about the choreography, especially the bus scene. Oh my God, the bus scene is, I think, possibly maybe the best Marvel action scene. If not, it's without a doubt top 3. There's a great callback to Old Boy with the panning thing. I love how they use long takes. For me, the star of the show, or maybe not the star of the show, but one of my favorite things is the cinematography. I feel like they actually took traditional like Hong Kong martial arts, the way you would do like long takes with martial arts, but they innovate it by using these interesting camera twists and turns, which I'm pretty sure are CGI assisted, and there's probably some CGI character work in there as well. But they always keep the face.
Can I just shout out the cinematographer for this?
Yep.
So Bill Pope,
Yes,
it's Bill Pope's first Marvel movie. He's a legend. He did The Matrix. He did all 3 Matrix.
Scott Pilgrim,
Scott Pilgrim, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Like The World's End, a lot of Edgar Wright stuff. So he is like very, very. He knows what the fuck he's doing, and like I love that Marvel, after 20 however many movies, they brought in a new cinematographer to kind of give it a new sort of like sheen. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt. I just really wanted to shout out Bill Pope.
No. I'm glad you did, because I only had a couple off the top of my head, but I left the movie and the first thing I Googled was, who shot this? And that's not usually the first thing that comes to my mind, but I was just really impressed how the camera was doing these type of movements I hadn't seen in a martial arts fight scene before. Like, I think John Wick was a film that really innovated on how Hollywood takes martial art fight scenes with the way they do it, and a lot of films have copied it. And I'm really hoping that other films copy Shang-Chi in the way they shot it. I will admit, sometimes I felt there was a little bit too much reliance on CGI. I know could be said about every Marvel film, but there were moments here, and maybe it's just due to COVID, where I felt like it's a bit too much or a bit too obvious. To be honest, I felt the same about Black Widow, so I don't know if it's because of COVID or if it's something new, but it's I hope that's not an ongoing thing. But yeah, once again, the cast, I really love the story with the father. I will admit, I think towards the end, I started feeling like it might be getting a little bit too long. But yeah, funnily enough, and this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but the thing I think I liked least about the film is the scene with Wong and Abomination. Because I saw it in the trailer, I was hyped up, expecting an amazing sequence, and it was so brief that I was like, oh, and I was expecting to have a big element to the story, and it just wasn't there, and it was barely anything. It was just like hey, there's something. And I was like, oh, that's a bit whatever, but that's okay. Like, it doesn't really ruin the movie. I just, I got hyped off the trailer too much. But yeah, I'm really hoping, I think this is a genius way of doing an origin story. I think by the reveal that, like, he's had these abilities for a while and he's kept them hidden. It's a great way to do it, because Marvel, their last few origin films, I like how they're trying to find ways to get around the traditional origin story. And I think they've really nailed it with this one. This is one of the best in terms of doing that. So yeah, shout outs to them. They did awesome.
Can I ask you guys 2 questions? Just before.
Lay it on us. Go.
All right. So would you both agree your favorite part of the film was the bus sequence? Like, what were your So I know that was your favorite.
It was my favorite action. It was my favorite fight scene. Okay, but there's a lot of great character work. So it's how do you want to?
What about you, Zoheb? Like, action sequence? Like, was that your favorite?
I really enjoyed the final sort of set piece. You can make an argument that by that point a lot of people are sort of checked out of the Marvel movie, but I think what they did in this was really personal. and that really helped me kind of like wade through that. I thought Matt really kind of hit the nail on the head. That bus fight sequence was really, really incredible because it comes at a point where you're not really expecting it and you don't really know. Okay, this is not really a spoiler, but that bus sequence is the introduction of Shang-Chi. And that's when you're just like, holy fuck, this is what this guy's capable of. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got, and like, I know, Zoheb, you're not a big fan of like licensed music. I don't know if it was licensed or not, but like this hip hop music that kicks in, it just added to the funness of it all. And there's so much spectacle. Like that scene keeps building, and it's like when they're doing, it's like, okay, what's some more cool shit we can do? Tick it off. All right, what's another cool shit we can do? It's like the cool shit just keeps happening, and it's honestly one of my favorite, I think, Marvel fight scenes I've seen in a while.
I'm so keen. My last question.
What was the second question?
Okay, I don't know if you were gonna talk about it or not. I assume there is one, but post-credit scene, is that a thing?
Honestly,
there's
two. There's two. The second one kind of sets up a sequel to Shang-Chi, and the first one, I don't really know what it's setting up. It's kind of some cameos. They're just like, here's some cameos. They could go somewhere.
Felt a little tacked on. I was a little disappointed by it. But I mean, it felt very phase one. is my kind of note.
Yeah, it does make me. Oh, I don't want to give away a spoiler, but Zoheb, you'd probably agree with me. It makes me wonder, seeing a certain character. It makes me wonder how they're going to explain why they looked like that in an upcoming Disney Plus show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because that's really surprised me. So I'm guessing we're going to learn something about that character in the near future. And I feel like it kind of undid a plot point at Endgame. So it's like, what are they doing there?
Ooh,
but again, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect Shang-Chi much.